talk about a dramatic video. Sometimes wonder, I'm like, how do you make these videos interesting? Well, I think the trick is to smash your camera while you're doing it, and that makes everyone want to watch it. G'day guys, what's cracking? It's Ralph here, and a couple of things before we get started. First of all, behind me is a snake enclosure, so if you see any snakes slither toward me, please let me know, because I don't have a sock on. The reason I don't have a sock on is because I'm using my sock as a wind sock, because I forgot my wind sock, and I made a short about it. If you're interested in that, it'll be at the end of the video. So hopefully the audio is of a respectable standard and quality, because my socks stink. Thirdly, this table seems really high. It feels like I'm a little kid playing at the big boys table, which I guess it could be a description of my YouTube channel too. So take that for what it's worth. But here's my gear, travel gear. So all of this weighs about 10 kilos. And the reason it weighs 10 kilos is because nowadays you're allowed, 7 kilos I think in Australia to travel domestically. And I've traveled from Gold Coast down to Victoria to do some shooting. So I had to make some sacrifices. One of those sacrifices was my Tamron 150 to 600, which I've deeply missed this holiday. But somebody else did the booking of the tickets, and they only booked 20 kilos of luggage rather than 30 or 35, so I had to really strip down. So about 3 kilos of this lives in my other bag, but if I just want to grab my gear and go for a walk, go for one and have everything with me, here it is, and it's nice to have it in one thing. So I thought I'd talk you through really quickly what's in it. There'll be a bunch of links in the description below, and if you have any questions, please tell me what they are, and I will do my best to answer them. So the first is the travel tripod. This is 1.1 kilos from Ulanzi and Coleman. I've said a heap about this, and I'll put links to this in the description and into the other videos, but this is basically a 1500 meter high tripod that fits into your hand like this, and I'm really impressed, and I've been using it heaps, and so I would highly recommend you getting one if you're going to do any sort of travel photography. This is a low pro camera bag. I've got a smaller one and a larger one. I use my larger one when I'm at home all the time, but this is the Pro Tactic 350 AW, and I got it secondhand for like 30 bucks, and so I was stoked with that. But I use this and use these pouches every so often. But if I flick open this, you'll be able to see what's inside. So before I crush it, I always, when I'm traveling, carry, it's a MacBook Air, what is that, 13-inch? The smaller one, not the tiny one, but I do all my editing and of my photos and my videos on this regardless. So even when I'm at home, I use this. So this comes with me. Also have this tool, which is great for tripod base, putting on and putting off, and my business card, which is really handy. Every so often I bump into someone, I can give them a card because they ask for it. I don't go, "You want a card?" That'd be weird, wouldn't it? Alright, so in no particular order, I'm just going to bring everything out, and I'm going to cut through the boring bits of me getting it out, but I'm not going to actually cheat and like pretend this is a never-ending bag. And if you're wondering, is he cheating, just go to the thumbnail, have a detailed look at that, because the thumbnail is just a photo of everything in my bag. So I'm just going to reach in and pull out. So this is for Astro. This is from Hoco Light. It's a great headlamp, and also this is a sensor reacted. So once you turn it on, you can just put your hand through and turn it off, and it is in red too. So there's a red light, so it's really good for when you're doing anything Astro. This is the GoPro Hero 10, because I've yet to get a Hero 11. If anyone from GoPro wants to help me out with Hero 11, I'd love to do some reviews on it. But marrying up with this is the HSU battery bank. It's got 3 batteries in there and 1 battery in the Canon, and it's really good for sort of vlogging. It's good for time lapses. It's good for some creative video stuff, and it's super handy. Look how big it is. That just sits in the bag and attaches to a little tripod I have, which I'm actually vlogging on. But I'll show you. Seeing as you asked nicely, here's what the tripod looks like. This is from Ulanzi. It's the Octopus tripod, and that's a phone mount as well as a 1/4-20 mount. And this attaches to anywhere and anything. And I love it. It's just so versatile, clever, and it fits in my bag by bending and stretching and moving. So it stretches in here where my larger lens is kept. This is from Nightcore. It's a camera cleaning kit, and I'm looking into selling some Nightcore stuff. So have a look in the link in the description below and see if I've got my act together around that. You can get the Nightcore stuff because it's really good for keeping your camera clean This is from Nissi, and it's a blower, nice and handy to have if your sensor gets messy. And mine got a bit messy this holiday, so I was stoked to have this. I could do a repair on the run, as well as one of my lenses. This particular lens got completely filth covered. This is the 70 to 200 Nikkor 2.8. I chose the 2.8 because I wanted the extra ability to shoot in low light. So I have a 70 to 200. This is the Z mount adapter. I get the circular one now, so it's the FTZ2, and it lives on this lens because this is the lens I've overwhelmingly been using this holiday for some reason or another. I'm not sure why, just there's been a lot of need for it, and so I've used it. Talking about wide lenses, this is the 20mm 1.8 from Nikon, autofocus, and does all my astro stuff, even though the clouds have been rubbish, there's been no astro stuff, but also my wide landscape stuff. I just reserve it for this instead of carrying around my 14 to 24, which is really big and heavy. I use that for like real estate shots and when I'm at home sometimes, if I run it really wide for a landscape shot, but 20mm does me easy and well. Oh, it's a tripod mount for the Ulanzi Common 0Y. It's like a lucky dip, isn't it? Oh, my camera strap from Peak Design. I love this thing, and it's got camera mounts, which I'll talk to you about a little bit more in just a tick. Oh, this is from Joby, and look at this. This is something to mount your phone on, and it's so cool. And I think it cost me 50 bucks, but one of my most fun accessories that I have, always carry it when I travel. Look how big that is, and it's great for setting up the phone. I've done a couple of family shots where I've put this on the phone, on my bag or whatever, and I've pressed timer and I've ran and jumped in it, and Bob's your uncle, we've got a great photo. So this is really handy. Again, I'm not sure what this is called, so there'll be a link to it in the description. So we have the mounting piece that goes on the 70 to 200, slots it in there, and a base plate can go on the bottom, attach it to your tripod. This is my myop system. I use this for lightning photography. It's an automatic lightning detector. What happens when lightning happens is a bolt comes down, it hits the ground, and then it goes back up. It happens so quick you don't see the difference. But this, as the bolt comes down, goes, oh, it's a lightning, and then it shoots the camera as the bolt goes back up in the same pattern that it came down on. So it's really helpful. I use that connected to my phone, and it enables for those sort of really tricky shots when you're thinking a long exposure timer function on your lightning shots isn't really going to get the job done. Well, that gets the job well and truly done. Got a USB to a USB-C, which enables my laptop to talk to my camera, and that's what you're asking, isn't it? You're like, what about the camera, Ralph? You need a camera. So this is the camera I shoot with. I don't usually carry a pro camera with me, but I brought it with me because I want to learn more about how it works. This is the Nikon Z9, but also, gosh, it's been able to do some things that I couldn't do with my other camera. So if you watch my other videos, you'll get to have a bit of a feel and understand about what that is. So I've been stoked that I have this, and I'm still getting used to all its functionality, but I put a base plate on the bottom. It doesn't feel too bad in the hand because I've got big hands. It doesn't come with an L bracket, but it does come with a cage, which I am going to review if I haven't already for you from Small Rig, and you can see what you think about that too. And these have anchor points, and these anchor points are wonderful for the camera strap. I recommend this to everyone. If you just want a camera strap that you can take on and off, just Peak Design, you've crushed it, knocked it out of the park. I love it. Well done, super handy. It's got a grip on one side, really smooth. I think there's a lifetime warranty on it. You can make it as big or as small as you like, and it just clips on your camera, no stress at all. Nearly there. Then I've got my 24 to 70 2.8. I could have actually brought the 24 to 70 f4 and saved like half a kilo of weight, I reckon. I seriously reckon it could have been that. I've used the 2.8 a couple of times, the aperture, but could I have got away with a 4? I probably could have. This is a wonderful, lovely lens from Tamron. Well played, guys, but it's got a little lock here too, so yeah. Oh! Man, I torque up the tripod and then the wind blows it over. That's going to look good on the edit, isn't it? Was that traumatic for you? It was traumatic for me. It was even more traumatic for my camera. But it's fine. Camera's fine. Whew. We're nearly at the end too. Alright, where was I? So So it's got vibration reduction, auto focus on if you need it, and a lock here that stops the lens going here like that, but it also doesn't stop your camera that you're vlogging on falling on its face and on the lens. But we're okay. It's not even that windy. It's not even that windy. Man, talk about a dramatic video. Sometimes wonder, I'm like, how do you make these videos interesting? Well, I think the trick is to smash your camera while you're doing it, and that makes everyone want to watch it. Oh, we're nearly there. This is a shutter release, a shutter delay release, and so sometimes it's handy just to have this to fire off shots rather than touching your camera or having a 2-second delay, because you don't want a 2-second delay, but you don't want any shake on the camera when you press the go button. And finally, last but not least, is my cloth for keeping my stuff clean. Isn't that fun? So this works in conjunction with this. Use a couple of wipes from here on your lens, and then when you cleaned it all off with these wipes, then you give it a nice little polish up with the old camera lens cleaning cloth, and there you have it, guys. There's 2 more things in here I just saw. Thumb drive. When you're shooting with people, like with friends or family or whatever, and they're like, can we have that photo? And you're like, yeah, just have you got a thumb drive? And they don't. So I do, just for ease sake. And then the final thing, and these little things, do not eat them. It says do not eat, in case you were that peckish, just like I just gotta hit one up because I'm so hungry. But these absorb all the moisture, so they come in your parcels that you get, and the manufacturers, they chuck them in to stop mold and rot and that sort of stuff. I keep a ton of them in my camera bag to stop my camera bag getting wrecked and moldy and gross and stuff. Have you enjoyed? If you've enjoyed, please subscribe. You know the drill by now. I'd love it if you subscribe and be part of this journey. We're over 5K. I think we're at 5.2. Might even be a bit more now. I don't know. It's kind of going off chops, which I'm loving. It's been good. Heaps of comments and great questions. I mean, great to get to know some of you in a real more deeper way and personal way. So if you want to say g'day and shout out, just do that. Hit me up on an email or whatever floats your boat. And you can even join the channel if you like. There's a video down below that just explains what that means and what it looks like. And apologies for the back third of this video being a little bit skewed and a little bit like that's not the best framing at all, Ralph. Well played. But that's what happens when a ferocious wind comes and knocks the camera over. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Take it easy. I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Oh, this is the mounting. Can you hear that noise, that plane? I wonder how good my windsock's doing. It's so loud. It's funny calling a dirty sock a windsock. It's probably not even a windsock, is it? It's a dead cat. So my dirty sock is a dead cat.